Hello, welcome back. I was talking to somebody the other day. He said he looked at one of my videos, but because he doesn't really know about VR, he didn't have a clue what I was talking about. So I thought, let's make a video which talks about VR and all the jargon based around it. So I've got some notes here. So the resolution, this is the actual number of pixels inside your headset. Inside your headset, you'll have like little TV screens, like little panels, and every one of them will have like loads of little dots. So that is your resolution. So when they say 2064 by 2208 per eye, and that means there's two of the screens, 2064 pixels across and 2208 pixels down. The higher the resolution will give you a sharper image, but that's only part of the story. Like with the Quest, it doesn't use a display port connection, which is a connection straight to your graphics card. It basically creates a video. Your PC will create a video of what it's showing and send that via streaming, via wireless, or you can have a cable, which works better, but I don't want to get too technical. The higher the resolution of that, again, is the better the image. The size of the streamed video is called the encoded resolution. It's usually higher than the headset screen resolution, but not always. The Quest one is actually lower, so it's all a bit complicated. I'm trying not to get complicated here. We have super sampling. You've probably heard that before. So say your headset display is 2064 by 2208. If you super sample it, what you're basically doing, you're basically rendering an image greater than that resolution. So you can super sample like 1.2, 1.3, 1.1. So just say, for instance, your headset was 100 pixels by 100 pixels. You would never get one that small, but let's just make it simple. And you super sampled it 2 times. Then you would output the image at 200 by 200 pixels. So you'd be doubling it. But then it would like scale it down and show it on the 100 by 100. So it'd look a lot sharper. OpenXR, you don't really have to worry about it. You can install what's known as the OpenXR toolkit, but that gets a bit more technical. It's just a way to make somebody who makes a game work on different headsets without having to do much coding, so not really having to worry about it. Foveated rendering. So this is basically how that works. Because VR, you have to have quite a lot of power to run VR. They do what's known as foveated rendering. There's 2 types. There's just basic static foveated rendering, which basically what it will do, when you're looking at an image, your pupils can only really define real fine details right in the center. So in the center, it will have a higher resolution, and then normally it goes in 3 stages. You have like a high res in the middle, and then a ring around that, which is a lower res, and then the outer part, which is low res. It can speed up VR processing, but the problem with static is when you look, if you look, you can, it doesn't move, and you can see like the lower res on the outsides. You also have dynamic foveated rendering, which is the better one, but you need to track your eyes. A lot of VR headsets track your eyes, but basically what that does, wherever you look, it will move the spot that you're looking at, so you can never really see it. It's not perfect. You can see it like in your periphery, like sometimes you get a bit of movement in the images, like just a shimmering, basically. There's also some lens types. There's 3 lens types usually. The old types are Fresnel lenses. They're common in older headsets. You can see them because they have like concentric rings in them. But they create like what's known as God rays, which is like when you've got like a bright light in a scene, it will create like a streak that comes out towards you. And they've got a very tiny sweet spot, so your eyes have to get right in. Well, you know, you have to have your IPD, which I'll explain in a minute, but correct. So that's the older ones. The Quest 2 uses them. What else uses them? The Quest 3S, is it the S? I think the lower one, that uses them still. But most of the older headsets use them, like the Reverb G2. The more modern lenses are known as pancake lenses, which are basically a few lenses stacked in front of each other, which are really good because they're lightweight. But I'm trying not to get too technical. The only problem with pancake lenses is because they're with a few lenses in front of each other, when the light comes through, it bounces off the lenses and you get glare. Glare's like how can you explain glare? Just like if you're driving your car and like the sun's on the windscreen and it's like really bright and you can't really see what's going on. It's similar to that type of thing. So that kind of like, it's a bit glaring. The other lenses are aspheric glass lenses. These are like real high-end headsets, like the Pimax Super, and they're usually glass. They can be like an acrylic, but they're really clear lenses, but they're really heavy and really expensive, and they can cause other problems. But yeah, don't worry about it. So when you're streaming from your PC, you can either use a display port, which is when your GPU is directly connected to your headset. So you get no video compression. It's a really sharp image and you get the lowest latency. The other, like the Quest and other wireless headsets, use streaming. It doesn't use a display port. It comes over a USB cable or wirelessly, because it's a wireless headset. It allows a lot of freedom, but you get compression softness and artifacts. You get a little bit of latency, and it works your GPU harder because it has to encode and then your VR headset has to decode. But the wireless performance is pretty good today with what's it called? Virtual Desktop, which is quite a good app that you can download to stream from your PC. But yes, so, and then so we'll go on to IPD, which is known as your interpupillary distance. So this is basically the distance between your eyes. Lenses in VR have to be really like lined up with your eyes, and it gives you sharper visuals, reduced eye strain, more comfortable, and you've got a lower chance of motion sickness. So when they say that IPD, or your interpupillary distance, is just literally the distance between your pupils. Tracking types, you probably hear two different types of tracking. One called SLAM, which is used by the Quest and most other standalone headsets. Trying to do this in one take is a nightmare. So yeah, the tracking, you have two. SLAM tracking, inside out, or lighthouse tracking. SLAM tracking stands for simultaneous localization and mapping. Nice and easy, rolls off the tongue, doesn't it? But basically what that does, it has cameras which look out at your environment and pick points, and then it tracks that. So you don't need any outside apparatus for it to work. Then you have, it's easy to set up. It's portable when it works anywhere, really, pretty much. Then you have lighthouse tracking, which is a far superior way of tracking. You have these base stations which you set up in parts of your room, and what that basically does is that it just basically fires lasers, and the sensors on the headset track these lasers, and then it knows exactly where you are. It is better, but you need more hardware and it's a bit more difficult to set up. So if you're new to VR, just go with like a Quest 3. Quest 3 is probably the best headset for a newbie, I would say, because you don't even need a PC. It all runs in the headset. What else we got? So we've got the FOV, which is basically your field of view. It's pretty straightforward, but basically inside the headset, because you're looking at panels, there is a maximum width where they can go. So the FOV would just be how far around the side you can see. Most headsets are around about 100 degrees. Some of the real high-end headsets do go above that, but there are problems with like distortions and loads of problems. But you know, that's your FOV. The refresh rate. Most headsets around about 90 hertz, which means it refreshes the screens 90 times a second. Some go down. I mean, the G2, I think you can go down to 60 hertz, which I did notice a flicker. But you want to run that as high as you can. But again, if you're running a higher refresh rate, then you're going to have to, you need more horsepower on your computer. So it's a compromise, really. Pass-through cameras, these are usually only on like mixed reality. I mean, you can get, like, for instance, like the Super, which doesn't really have mixed reality. It just has black and white cameras. It's just literally for tracking, so it can just grab points. But the Meta Quest, that has color pass-through, so you can literally see like your hands because it does hand tracking. But that's quite cool because it can put, you can see your room and it can put, like, you know, graphics inside your room. It's quite really, you know, it's quite an event when you first see it. But that's actually quite good. So, you know, that's fun to play with. That's pretty much it. I don't want to go too technical. I hope this is useful. It's probably useless for people like me or somebody who uses VR, but I just thought there's not really a lot of information of basic stuff. So I hope this is useful for you. If so, give me a like and subscribe, please. I'm trying to grow my channel, and I'll talk to you soon.